A viral video of a flood occurring on Harmony of the Seas has the internet buzzing, and I'm going to show it to you. Plus, Carnival Cruise Line has hit all of their loyal cruisers with a rate increase for some very popular things and some not very optional, well, technically optional things on board. And Norwegian Cruise Line is going to treat you differently if you come from a certain part of the world. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Happy New Year, happy 2023. I've been taking a few days off, getting some things done behind the scenes here for the Midships channel. Moving forward, I have a huge announcement to make on a new type of content that we'll be bringing here to the channel, and it heavily involves you. You're going to be 100% involved with that. It's going to be... No. Make sure you're subscribed. I will let you know in an episode coming up soon. Now, we've got to talk about this viral video that I saw when I logged on to the internet today of a waterfall rolling down the side of the Central Park View cabins on Harmony of the Seas. Check this video out. As you can see, wow, it is just a wall of water falling down the side of the cabins, flooding the little walkway in Central Park aboard the Harmony of the Seas. Now, this video was originally posted to TikTok from Punto de Vista Noti. I don't know. This person here originally posted the video. Now, what apparently happened is not totally clear. Some folks on the internet speculate that the ship hit a wave, causing this waterfall to flood out of the pool. Other folks say that the ship actually quickly turned and changed course to miss a raft that was floating in the water in their path. It's not clear exactly what happened, but luckily the water was quickly cleaned up. No one was reported to be injured at this point in time, and Harmony of the Seas was able to continue on her merry and albeit a little damp way moving forward. Norwegian Cruise Line is changing their tune about COVID testing, at least for individuals who have traveled to or hold a passport from China, Hong Kong, or Macau. I don't know where at least Macau is, but I could point to China and Hong Kong on a map. Now, the dealio is if you've been to any of these places in the past 10 days prior to your cruise, you need to submit to a medically supervised COVID test, a PCR test. And that test can occur anytime 48 hours prior to your air travel to the cruise. So you got a little bit of flex time if you're flying in a day or two early to your cruise. You can go ahead and knock that test out at home while your insurance might still be able to cover it. Your other option is to pay Norwegian Cruise Line $100 to do the test, which is probably what they want you to do because Norwegian is on the hook for a big $110 million bill for some cruises they took down to Cuba. Let's talk about that after I remind you that the best way to support this channel is by buying things for yourself on Amazon in the Midships Amazon store. You're already going on cruises. You love them. Why not take the cruise essentials I take with me every time I sail? Check them out. They're in the link down below. Now, let's go ahead and rewind a little bit to 2015. President Obama is in office and he approves of some travel, limited travel to Cuba. And this includes cruise travel to Cuba. So some major cruise lines hop on. MSC, Norwegian, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, all go to Cuba and use the Havana docks. Well, the problem is Cuba took those docks away from an American company based in the United States. And that company now says they have a claim to all the port fees that were paid by these cruise lines to Cuba. They should actually have been paid to the Havana Docks company here in the United States. And a federal judge in Florida agrees to the tune of $400 million in damages that have just been awarded to this company. Now, this is not $400 million just from Norwegian. For their part, Norwegian owes $110 million. Now, of course, This is just a judgment. There will most likely be appeals. We don't know how high of a court this case will end up in. But for the time being, Norwegian on the hook for $110 million for cruises that went to Cuba. Something tells me that if Cuba opens back up to cruise travel, there's 4 cruise lines that are going to be real hesitant to send their ships there. Carnival cruisers, listen up. Your cruise is getting more expensive starting January 16th when Carnival plans to raise the daily internet price across the fleet. Currently, you can book the social plan for just about $10 a day. That's going up to almost $13 per day starting on January 16th. The value plan, which is the one that most cruisers, I think, tend to flock to, currently about $14.50. It's going up to $17 a day. And the premium plan currently is at that $17 price point. It's going up to $18.70 daily. Now, remember, the value plan gets you pretty much the full internet, save for some streaming opportunities. I know when I use the value plan, it takes me a solid 8 to 12 hours to upload a YouTube episode, an episode of Midships. When I upgrade to the premium plan, I can do that same upload in 8 to 15 minutes. So there is definitely a noticeable difference between the value and the premium plan. Now, whether or not the value plan is even worth it at $17 a day, I just don't know. If you're only maybe sending some text messages, sending some Snapchats, and scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, yeah, it's probably going to be worth it. But if you do have to do heavy work on a Carnival ship, you just have to spring for the premium plan. And internet is not the only thing getting more expensive in 2023 on Carnival ships. Starting April 1st of this year, standard stateroom daily gratuities will rise from $14.50 per day up to $16 per day. Suites, on the other hand, currently they're sitting at $16.50 per day for gratuities. They're jacking all the way up to $18 daily. Now, for their part, Carnival did warn us with plenty of time. If you have cruises booked right now, go ahead, get on your cruise planner, and they will honor the current gratuity and the current internet pricing if you book it right now ahead of time. If you wait until April, all of these prices are going up to the new rates, $16 per day for your standard cabins and all the way up to $17 per day for that value internet plan. So if you got cruises booked with Carnival and you know you use things like internet, just go ahead and prepay it. You'll save some money. As far as gratuities go, they're technically optional, but you should be paying them because that is a big part of how the crew is compensated on board these ships. So there you go. If you want to save some bucks, go ahead, hop onto that cruise planner right now at the end of this video and pay up. One Royal Caribbean ship has found themselves in a little bit of a pickle in Progresso. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. Pickle in Progresso. Now, Progresso is on the northern tip of kind of that Mexican peninsula out in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's known for having one of, if not the largest pier in the world. This thing is so massive that it's like a 5 or 10 minute bus ride to get down the pier. But for Royal Caribbean cruisers aboard Voyager of the Seas, they are not going to be able to see Progresso and their beautiful beach because their ship is too darn big to make port there. Voyager of the Seas will spend an overnight in Cozumel, Mexico to make up for it. There you go. The Voyager class of ships, too big for Progresso. That means other ships in the same class. Moving forward, if you see a call for Progresso and you're on a Royal Caribbean ship, you might start considering that you too will most likely now be spending the night in Cozumel, Mexico instead. And if you too would also like to spend some time down in Cozumel with Captain Corey of Midships, why don't you hop on my group cruise? It all goes down June 11th out of Miami aboard Carnival's brand new Celebration. We're taking a 6-night cruise that stops in Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Mahogany Bay. If you'd like more information on how you can get on board this cruise, check out the second link in the description below this video. It is a Facebook link. It will take you to the group cruise Facebook group. There's a lot of groups and a lot of ports in Progresso that ships can't get to. Hey, if you made it this far into today's episode, do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the thumbs up button pressed. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. And until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships. Thank you all so much for putting up with a few days off. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on here at the channel with the turn of the new year. I've got a huge content plan. One more quick little update. I leave on my next cruise on the Meraviglia on Friday. It's a quick 2-day cruise. Then I come home and turn around the following morning to Long Beach to leave on the Radiance of the Seas. Why I bring this up is because I will not be working on Friday or Saturday of this week. The only way you'll see any content from me is on my Instagram stories and probably on my posts there on Instagram and Facebook. So there you go. That's your Midships update and your cruise news checked off all at once. Thanks for stopping by. See you tomorrow.